Okay, I am Louis Jefferson, and I am delighted to be here to talk to this distinguished audience. I'm presenting what we feel will be the race for a bridge to the cure for sickle cell. And when I say that, I'm going to race through these slides so that I can open it up for questions because my track coach is out there monitoring me right now. So I'm going to race through these slides and hopefully you get everything out of it. So we have a strong, so we have a strong leadership team that's committed to our excellence and committed to us moving this along with our trials. And we also have a strong commercialization team as well as financial accounting team. Let's see. So we have a four compound pipeline that targets disease markets with a cumulative valuation of $35 billion. We have a strong strategic partners, and it's very important for us to talk about our strategic partners because we're partnering with IQVIA, and IQVIA is very pivotal to filing our priority pediatric review voucher that will give us a valuation of $100 million prior to IPO. So it's very important for us to mention that strong strategic partner. Let's see. In summation of our history, I must say that we have aligned with academic and private and public strategic partners to build sole ownership of our compound with patent rights that have been established through US and international patent offices. Okay, sickle cell is a rare blood disorder. It's caused by the point mutation on the 6 codon of the beta hemoglobin gene on the 11th chromosome. Sickle cell patients overexpress CD47 receptors, and they overproduce a platelet byproduct called thrombospondin 1. Thrombospondin 1 binds to the CD47 receptor, causing it to adhere to the vasculature, which causes deleterious effects to patients. Okay. Our compound blocks the CD47 so that thrombospondin doesn't hit the target and therefore stops the adhesion, and occlusion is eliminated or mitigated through that. We're excited because we have a dual mechanism of action with our product, and maybe even a triplet, in that the CD47 on vascular endothelial cells also create a situation where you stop the ability for nitric oxide to be produced. So it impedes nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is important for shutting down or deactivating platelets, but also expanding the blood vessels. And so we have this dual mechanism of action that expands the blood vessels, allows for smoother rheology. Okay. So we're proud to say that our monoclonal antibody is reaching its target. It has a strong affinity to the CD47 receptor, and we have specified that CD47 receptor as well. Okay. We have three compounds in our pipeline, and we're looking to build monoclonal antibodies for neurodegenerative diseases as well as pathological scarring and fibroid cysts. Within the first 18 months, approximately 85% of our capital raised will be dedicated to R&D. Lastly, we have a D-10 commercialization team that has mapped out a commercialization strategy geared to sustainable win for D-10. A D-10 win will be a win for our global patient community as well as our investors. And we thank you for allowing us to present. I'll open for questions.
You made reference earlier on about an IPO. What was the timing on that?
Yes, so we look to file IPO probably within the first 18 months.
All right, well, good luck with that.
Well, we'll see.
I would just evaluate the market and look at other pathways. That's all.
I see. Thank you.
No, please.
Sorry. Could you go back to how the treatment works with the patient? How often do they get treated?
how, yeah.
So the treatment would be on a 28-day period of time, or between 3 weeks or a month, but we're looking between 21 to 28 days, like any monoclonal antibody.
What stage of development are you at? You're talking about preclinical, but where are you in
We are preclinical. We're looking to go into toxicology now. We're at that phase.
toxicology from the get-go?
Animal models, yes.
Animal models.
Yes.
I believe there are several other anti-CD47 antibodies that are in preclinical trials. I think it's for oncology or other diseases.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they're in market yet.
Yes.
They are.
Well, I'm so happy you asked that question,
Yeah.
because we have on our backup slides, hopefully I can see a backup slide. There. Okay, so it's important to know this, because the target that the CD47 monoclonal antibodies on the market that are built toward attracting or to target SIRP alpha and the CD40 and the TSP1 have a nuanced target. So we specified a target for TSP1. Therefore, we don't have the same target that the SIRP alpha is targeting. There's a company that is done well. That's one plus for us, because we know that it's a safe and efficacious drug already. I mean, the monoclonal antibody itself.
Can you go back to the slide we're showing the capital raise and the timelines? I know you had to kind of rip right through it.
Right.
That,
Oh, yeah,
nope,
the
you passed it.
This one?
Nope.
high graph. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So what have you raised to date?
To date, we've between friends and family and through deferred comp, we've got 33.5 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where will the Series A get you to from a milestone perspective?
When you say where will the Series A get us to?
Yeah, in terms of the development timeline.
Oh, okay. So Series A would get us all the way to commercialization. So a Series A round, I mean, we could start at between 5 to 10 million, or through all the way through commercialization, we're looking at 44 million. That gets us through the whole shebang.
44 million to do what exactly?
To get to commercialization.
So a phase 1, 2, and 3
Yes,
trial
yes,
with 44 million?
yes.
Are you sure?
Brent, that's our business development man sitting behind you, but those were the numbers that were provided for me. We can have a discussion.
Louis, great presentation. Quick question on timeline. So you mentioned you're going to do a Q4 2022 antibody production.
Yes.
That's going to enable your tox study? I was just very confused by the timing. So what's the exact timing?
Well, when you say getting to toxicology, what is the timeline? So the timeline to tox or completing tox?
Well, I think we had a slide on timelines, and I'm not sure if I follow it exactly. No, it's got two parts to it. Keep going. That one.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so I think you said Q4 2022 start date for antibody large scale production. That's a GMP batch?
Yeah, so we want to scale up our large scale in Q4, yes.
So,
Yeah, so right now we don't have enough antibodies. We want to increase the amount.
thank you.
So question with regard to the gene therapies that are in the preclinical pipelines. I'm not sure if any of them have reached the clinic yet, but ultimately this is a race. And
Yes.
so how do you see yourselves in terms of timing relative to these other gene therapies that are ultimately cures? And then how do you plan to position yourself?
I love that question. I love it because we are a bridge to the cure. And we know that based on what Bluebird Bio is coming up with and the safety problems that they've had, that myeloablative therapy is necessary in order to make it work, which is very risky, life-threatening. The amount that you have to pay for gene therapy is between 1.5 million per patient to 2 million per patient. When you're dealing with sub-Saharan Africa, when you're making $100 per year. So we are the bridge to the cure in that we know that this can stop the cells from adhering to the vasculature. It can expand and create better rheology which is a realistic goal for treating sickle cell. So thank you for asking that.
Can I make a suggestion? It
Yeah.
sounds like you guys are very strong on the finance side, but it may be really helpful to actually partner with a company that on the science side, with a larger
Yes.
company that can give you the, so you basically provide the finances to that company and they can develop what you're aiming to do.
Yes.
Because I think that's the piece that would be really enabling for you. So you essentially finance the whole thing,
Yes.
but you actually have a kind of a CRO that will do the development for you. So you,
That's the idea. That's why we said the strong strategic partnerships, and we're connecting with IQVIA. We've connected with GenScripts, GenScripts is a GenScripts laboratory that helped us to develop the monoclonal antibody. And that's why we have sole ownership of it. So you're right in suggesting that, because that's what we're doing.
I think he's asking who your scale-up partner is.
Excuse me.
I think he's asking who is your GMP manufacturing scale-up partner.
So we're looking at Thermo Fisher at this point. We've talked to them and had great talks with them, but that's all at this point, what you say. Yeah.
yeah. And are there philanthropic sort of organizations that you reached out to that could help in this effort?
We have, but no serious talks through any philanthropic organizations. There is one foundation through this one gentleman from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Santonio Holmes Foundation, and they're looking, but that was the only one.
I mean, that could be a really good source of financing in some cases, you know, because it actually it could be quite helpful in guiding from the science side your decisions in terms of some of the data that you're showing, or you know, I guess guiding the company scientifically also.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You talked about this being a bridge to a cure and how it's differentiated from gene therapy in terms of access. How do you think about pricing?
Yeah, so pricing, we're looking at this would be, and our comparables are between the company on the market right now, GBT, Global Blood Therapeutics. That's one of our major competitors. And we would price ours at around $5,000 per treatment. And they're somewhere like around $6,000 per treatment. It's per treatment, right, Brent? Yeah. Yeah.
Final questions?
All right. Thank you so much.